Hi everybody! I know it's been forever since I've done a video blog, but things have been a little crazy and Stu's been traveling so much lately that I just really haven't had any time to come back here and record something. And now that Zach is walking, life has just gotten 1,000 times more crazy. So I apologize. Thank you for being patient with me. But I think the last video I did, I wasn't pregnant, and I am now. I'm 17 weeks to, no, I was 17 weeks yesterday. So I told you guys about a month and a half ago, well, when I did my blog post in the official announcement that we were having a baby, that I would kind of do a quick video blog on how it all came about. And, you know, if you have been reading my blog for a while now, I'm sure you've noticed that I've grown more spiritually into my faith, and that is all because of the church we go to, Gateway, here in Texas. And so we've been going consistently ever since we moved here, and I've been volunteering, and I'm part of like an equip semester, like a weekly class that we're doing, and doing like a big brother big sister mentoring program. So I'm trying to get involved as much as possible, and I just wanted to share my story really quick with you about how baby number 2 came about. To make it fairly short, because this could end up being a very long video, I've always, for the last probably 6 or 7 years, been very irregular with cycles, meaning that I like never got them. So, you know, obviously Zach was a blessing, and out of nowhere, after almost 3 years of not getting one single cycle, I got one in September of 2010, and I got one in October, and then we got pregnant with Zach in November. So miracle number 1 right there. Of course, then I had him, and I never got a cycle again. It just never came back, none of it. So we've always known that we've wanted to have 2 kids, maybe 3, but 2 for now. And we wanted them sooner than later. We've always sort of, in a perfect world, would have loved them to be at least 2 years apart, better, even better, 18 months apart. So little did I know, here's where my testimony begins. So I hadn't been getting a cycle. I went to my OBGYN back in February or March of this year, and we discussed some plans, some different alternatives of what we could do. I had never gone on Clomid before, so she suggested that I get on the birth control pill, I get a period, and then after that we'll start a round of Clomid. So I was all for it, of course, and so in April, in April I did the pill. Of course, I did get a cycle in May, and you know, following my cycle, I started the 5 days on the Clomid. I did 100 milligrams. So I took a pill a day for 5 days straight. And, you know, throughout all this, my doctor was monitoring all my hormone levels, my HCG levels, and my progesterone levels. And I was just constantly going into Quest Diagnostics for blood work all the time, closely just being monitored. So I'm thinking Clomid's going to work. It's going to be great. It's going to work. And I'm praying on it, praying on it, praying on it. And at church, praying on it, getting prayed over by the ministry team, praying on it. And I take the Clomid, and I go in the following week, and we do an ultrasound, and my doctor she just doesn't see anything. She really is not seeing any sort of cysts that basically, before you ovulate, you develop tons and tons and tons of cysts, and then right before you ovulate, they like explode, they burst, and that's what causes you to ovulate. And she didn't really see any of that going on. No cysts were on my ovaries. So no cysts means bad. So I was a little bit discouraged, but down deep I sort of knew that God had a plan, a bigger plan for me, so I wasn't really going to stress about it because I just knew that stress was going to make things worse. So the following week we were in church, and I really, for the first time in my life, I felt like God was talking to me in church. And he said to me very clearly, Lisa, I don't want you to worry. You need to not worry about this. I am going to bless you with a child. You will get pregnant, and it's going to be a girl. And somewhere in her name, as part of her name, I want it to be Faith. I want Faith to be part of her name. So I took that message very, very seriously. And a couple of weeks went by, and I was still taking pregnancy tests with the hope of getting a positive sign and no positive sign. And my doctor at this time too was telling me I need to cut back on running because it's very high impact, and that was a big cause of, you know, not getting cycles, just with my body fat percentage and my height and my weight and all of that combined with the running. It just wasn't helping. So again, praying on it, and I felt the Lord say to me again at one point, I sacrificed for you, and you need to do a little sacrificing for me, and if you really want this child, you need to stop running. You've got to stop running. So I was like, okay, Lord, I'm going to stop running. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to take some spinning classes. I'm not going to run so much. Actually, really at all. So I cut back on running, and I'm praying on it still every night, reading devotionals and passages in the Bible and the scripture, and just hoping that something happens, something occurs. And so one day, randomly, actually, back up, we went to church one night, my friend Lindsay and I, and it's called Habitation. So basically, it's like a 1-hour worship followed by like an hour long of testimonies. So that night, the first couple that testified, it was a pregnancy story, and this woman went on to say that, and they were Skyping in from Chicago, so they are followers of Gateway Church in Texas, but were Skyping in from Chicago, and she basically told the story about how she was told the same thing, like she, you know, her cycles were irregular, she was never going to get pregnant. They actually removed her left ovary, and, of course, got pregnant. So once I heard that story, I just knew that this was going to happen. I'm going to get pregnant. So that was a Sunday night. The following Monday, I'm in Target with Zach. I'm in the sale aisle, and I see like a cheap EPT test. It's on sale for like $7.68. And I'm like, I'm just going to get this test. I don't know. Let me just take it. What the heck? Why not? So I come home, and I take it, and sure enough, there's a positive sign. And I basically just kind of fell to the ground and cried, because I could not believe that this is really happening, you know? And I called Stu, we FaceTimed, and he was like, oh my gosh, you know, go get digital tests. So that afternoon I went to CVS and I bought like 6 digital tests, and sure enough, came home that night and tested all 6, and all of them were positive. It said yes, or you're pregnant. So here I am, I'm 17 weeks, everything's great. And I'm just waiting for the opportunity to share this testimony with my church. And I felt like right here would be a great place to start. And I know some of you are probably thinking you're so off your rocker. Yeah, God talked to you. Well, you know what? You can think what you want, and you can believe what you want. But I'm secure in my faith, and I believe that the Lord spoke to me that day. I truly do believe in my heart of hearts that we are having a girl. We won't know until October 1st. Stu said, well, what if God changes his mind in the middle of this? Well, if he changes his mind, he changes his mind. But that's the message I received. He told me it was going to be a girl. So October 1st, we will find out for sure what we are having. But I've already started buying girl stuff because I just know it's a girl. So that's my story. I'm sorry it's so long. But I hope that you, if you're in my position, or you were in my position, or you are now and you're not cycling and stuff, you just need to let go and let God. That's my only advice. Is just, he's got a plan for all of us, and just pray on it, be faithful to him, and he will grant you the desires of your heart. So that's my story. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.